Today, with computers and software all around us, the notion of universal computation seems to be obvious. Of course, we can use software to compute anything we want, but in the abstract things might not be that way. One can fairly say that Ada Lovelace was the first person ever to glimpse with any clarity what has become a defining phenomenon of our technology and even our civilization, the notion of universal computation. Modern history remembers Ada Lovelace as the assistant of Charles Babbage, a pioneer of the computer, but that doesn't appear to be entirely accurate and certainly not the full story. So, let's begin. Ada Lovelace, or Ada Byron, was born in London on the 10th of December in the family of Lord Byron and Annabella Milbank. Her father, Lord Byron, or George Gordon Byron, was a 27 years old poet, and he had just achieved rockstar status in England for his poetry. Her mother, Annabella Milbank, was a 23-year-old heiress committed to progressive causes. From childhood, Ada was fascinated by machines, designing fanciful boats and steam flying machines, and pored over the diagrams of the new inventions of the Industrial Revolution that filled the scientific magazines of the time. What about Charles Babbage? His father was an enterprising and successful goldsmith and a banker. After various schools and tutors, Babbage went to Cambridge to study mathematics. He graduated from there in 1814, a year before Ada Lovelace was born, and then he went to London with his new wife and started establishing himself on the London scientific and social scene. In 1819, Babbage went to France, and there he learned about the large-scale government project to make logarithm and trigonometry tables. Back in England, Babbage and his lifelong friend John Herschel started a project to produce tables for their new astronomical society. Babbage imagined a machine, the difference engine, that could compute any polynomial up to a certain degree using the method of differences and then automatically step through values and print the results, taking humans and their propensity for errors entirely out of the loop. Babbage continued to work on the difference engine, generating thousands of pages of notes and designs. By 1832, a working prototype of a small difference engine, but without a printer, had successfully been completed. After a long illness at the age of 17, Ada went to London for a season of socializing. There, on the 5th of June in 1833, she went to a party to the house of 41-year-old Charles Babbage, and he invited her and her mother to come back for a demonstration of his newly constructed difference engine, a 2-foot-high hand-cranked contraption with 2,000 brass parts, now to be seen at the Science Museum in London. And this event had changed the course of Ada's life. The difference engine was a digital device. It operated on discrete digits rather than smooth quantities, and the digits were decimal, represented by positions on toothed wheels rather than binary digits. When one of the toothed wheels turned from 9 to 0, it caused the next wheel to advance one position carrying the digit. In 1843, Ada Lovelace translated into English a small article by the Italian mathematician Luigi Menabra, describing the analytical engine in order for it to be published in this country. Babbage asked her to expand the article as she understood the machine so well, and she produced notes on the engine, which are recognized as the first algorithm intended to be carried out by a machine. Because of this, she is often regarded as the first computer programmer. Babbage spoke highly of its mathematical powers and of its peculiar capability to prepare the descriptions connected with his calculated machine. But Ada also saw beyond Babbage's belief that his machine could only calculate numbers. She envisioned that any content, including sounds and music, text and pictures, could be turned into a digital form and manipulated by machine. Her detailed and elaborate annotations, especially her description of how the analytical engine could be programmed to compute Bernoulli numbers, were excellent. She developed a more abstract understanding of the machine than Babbage had, and got a glimpse of the incredibly powerful idea of universal computation. Unfortunately, in 1852, Ada's health situation was dire. For a while, her doctors were just telling her to spend more time at the seaside, but eventually they admitted she had cancer, and she died on the 27th of November in 1852 at the age of 36. And what about Charles Babbage? He lived 18 more years after Ada, dying in 1871. He tried working on the analytical engine again in 1856, but made no great progress. Apparently, he was fond of saying that he would gladly give up the remainder of his life if he could spend just 3 days 500 years in the future. And when he died, his brain was preserved. However, the analytical engine was never completed. Babbage's design was forgotten until his unpublished notebooks were discovered in 1937. And in 1991, British scientists built different engine number 2 to Babbage's specifications, and in 2000, the printer for the difference engine was also built. As a conclusion, I should say that Babbage only built a small part of the analytical engine, but Ada Lovelace's efforts have been remembered. The early programming language Ada was named for her, and the second Tuesday in October has become Ada Lovelace Day, on which the contributions of women to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are honored. Thank you for your attention.